I come from Mexico, and they asked me for this topic, sedation and anesthesia protocols for awake spine surgery. I did my fellowship in Calgary, and most of my practice has been in a city in Mexico called Aguascalientes. You're all invited. So these are the objectives, and we all know that this has been ongoing for almost 40 years now. It's been since 2016, the Await MISSAB, and in 2019, we started having the effective anesthesia protocol and then the ERAS protocols, thanks to the regional anesthesia protocols, and we've been doing this since 2021. Basically, one of the most important things here is to have a good neuroanesthesiologist or just an anesthesiologist who knows how sedation is important and is the workhorse of this. Basically, what we do is that we place the patient prone from the beginning after a sedation with propofol, and then under neuromonitoring and also assessing the pain-wise, the anesthesiologist perform a neuroaxial block and then the ESP block, and with this we can start our protocol and continue directly to what we have to do in terms of surgery. Recently, we started also, there's the ANI, for example. We also started doing the PVI, the periarticular vasoconstrictor infiltration, also in terms of avoiding bleeding, which normally it's more used for knee or hip surgery, but this is also being very, very of a good use in terms of spine surgery-wise, because patient does not bleed. That's basically the setup where we usually work and the immediate post-op. I believe that being very aware of in terms of pain control, it's very important, because this chronic pain after spine surgery, we cannot change the patient-related risk factors, but the operative in terms of what we can do as a good decompression, a good discectomy, and avoiding a bad selection of the patients, it's something that we need to assess and to address. This is why the ERAS protocols were established since 2021, specifically for this topic. And the objectives are really clear. It's optimization of these procedures and improve disability scores and reduce the post-op complications. They divided this into pre-op, intraoperative, and post-op. The most important thing is to avoid smoking for 4 weeks, sorry, and alcohol for 4 to 8 weeks. Anemia must be corrected, not with transfusions, but with medication. And in terms of the intraoperative, it's what we already explained about the neuroaxial block, the ESP block, the PVI, and the local anesthesia. You could use adjuvants as ropivacaine, morphine, clonidine, and dexamethasone, and also the PVI, which we already explained that it's going through the retrolaminar space, thoracolumbar fascia, and supraspinous ligaments. What I'm currently doing as in this way of making things happen, that it's been there since 2021, it's I do 3-level decompression and up to 2-level instrumentation. That's like the top of what we are doing currently. And as I mentioned, monitoring obviously cannot be done. The shoulder pathology is something that patient complains when it's up to 3-4 hours, and that's like the moment you should stop or just not continue doing this kind of things. Thank you.